told us already, we have John Janzcewski. We're trying to reach his wife, Lori, mother and father of Cody, who is at the time, 14-year... Did this start when he was 14, John?
It started when he was right about just a little bit older than 13 years old.
Okay, all right. So he was 13, just after his 13th birthday, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So the story we're telling here is about a molested boy. That is not in question. The teacher and the teacher's wife who did the molesting have admitted that this occurred. Nobody's denying that it happened. What the problem is that there are a number of teachers who are coming to the defense of the convicted child molester, whose name is Neil Erickson, right? The teacher was Neil Erickson in the Rose City District. Yep. And the teachers want leniency, and you want to see what? What do you want to see happen to these teachers and the one school board member who has come to his defense?
Well, what we'd like to see happen is we had stayed quiet throughout the whole process until July 10th when Neil Erickson was sentenced. At that time, the judge held up a bunch of letters of leniency that teachers had written. We want to see them teachers fired. They cannot be trusted. They can't be trusted to take care of our children. We want Michael Eagon to be recalled or step down because he's in support of a child molester. We would also like to see that all teachers every 6 months have to go through a training course to look for signs for child molestation. We would, like to see that happen, and a background check. Even if a teacher's been there for 10 years, a background check every year on the teachers annually.
All right. Now, let me ask you how long this all took. Now, I'm reading some of the letters of support, for instance, from the convicted teacher, Neil Erickson's wife. This only happened one time and never happened again, and the guy has made amends.
Too many.
The families are friends, that the young boy, Cody, holds no ill will toward the teacher that did this to him. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here what the wife said, but you know where I'm coming from on this. Tell me how you differ from her version of events here.
Well, how we differ is for 100% truth. It was not one time. I'm going to probably set you back in your chair. It was approximately 10 to 12 times.
Oh, my God.
All in 1 year, or it says here that there was one summer, is what she's pointing to. She said, I do understand that 7 years ago my husband made a very grave mistake through his illegal contacts with Cody. However, those mistakes stopped. All right, so she is saying it's more than once, but it was only one summer. She said they stopped that same summer.
No, he was a predator. He groomed my son, and it happened over a 2.5-year period, roughly.
Okay.
And Johnny, I got to ask you, since when is she a psychologist and says that my son had no psychological issues with this?
Exactly. And that is my reaction is like yours. How does anybody know what your son is feeling? Because she continuously says in her thing that Cody did not and does not perceive himself to be a victim, nor is he living a life that has been negatively impacted by Neil's actions.
Does she know anything?
She said, I knew Cody well as a student, had been in contact with him in recent years as well. I worked with him on over 10 theatrical productions during his high school career. I've written him letters of recommendation for high school and college, exchanged information about theater events that we were involved in, both here and away at college. I knew Cody long before I was in a relationship with Neil, her husband. He is a very dynamic and intelligent high school student. When Neil and I began dating, he was delighted for us, and in fact, asked to come to our wedding. Both Neil and myself continue to be friends with Cody, and she goes on to say, you, as a family, they attended the graduation party at your house, etc. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say about that is trust. You should be able to trust a teacher, an educator. They have broken the number one law. On their teaching license, they take an oath to trust and protect our children. So he was a predator. He groomed my son. He screwed his head up totally. That's what I have to say.
All right,
The
now-
predator.
Now, in addition to Mike Eagon, the school board member, how many teachers came up in support of him?
11 teachers, and then including Mike, a total of 12.
So there are 12 people that you want to see fired, and the board member to lose his position on the school board, member Mike Eagon.
Absolutely.
Now, they were sitting, as I understand, a lot of these teachers were sitting in the courtroom with the sex offender's family at the sentencing?
Yes, they were. And before we went into the courtroom, they all gathered in the hallway, all walked by us with dirty scowl looks, and went right over to Neil Erickson's side, and they all sat together.
All right, also,
Disgusting.
tell about the threats that you, as a family, have had to endure.
We've had many different threats. The day after court, my wife was outside with our dog, playing with her, and so on and so forth. We had suspicious vehicles going by the house. She called me right away. The next day, I called the state police. He told me to keep an eye on it. And then there were letters written on our house by our front door, which were YWP, and then underneath it was ITY, which we believe means
You will pay.
you will pay, and I told you.
Wow.
And then what happened?
2 days later, at 1:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning, I happened to get up, or I didn't happen to get up. I heard a loud explosion. I didn't think too much of it because our neighbors have a business of maple syrup they do, so they banged out there all night. Then I started hearing this loud crackle. So I got out of bed and I went to the window, and what I seen brighter than the sun was my garage engulfed in flames and my camper.
Has the fire department investigated this at all?
Yes, the fire department, there have been state police, fire marshals investigating it, state police troopers. It started to burn my house. If I wouldn't have woke up, we wouldn't be here talking right now.
There is a reward, as I understand it, from the police for information on this, correct?
Yes, there is. There's an arson reward for $5,000.
All right, now I'm going to read to you what some of the teachers said. Teacher Sally Campbell wrote to the judge saying, Neil made a mistake. He allowed a mutual friendship to develop into much more. He realized his mistake and ended it years before someone anonymously sent something into the authorities, which began this legal process.
How dare somebody anonymously turn him in?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Also, Amy Huber Eagon, a teacher and wife of the board member Mike Eagon, wrote, I am asking that Neil be given the absolute minimum sentence, considering all the circumstances surrounding this case. I am also hoping that he can stay remanded to the custody of the Ogama County Jail and not be sent to a prison facility.
Jeez.
Then teacher Harriet Coe wrote, Neil has pled guilty for his one criminal offense, but he is not a predator. This was an isolated incident.
Oh, my God. You've got to be kidding me.
He understands the severity of his action and is sincere in his desire to make amends. He has been candid and conveyed his action to his family, friends, and coworkers. So now we
I
have...
can't even imagine how you deal with this, because this thought of someone even coming near any of my children, I will rip your head off. How do you deal with this day in and day out? I don't know how you do it.
And Blondie, they knew all about this, so
Yeah.
they knew about it, so they keep saying it was an isolated incident.
Even if it was a one-time thing, that's disgusting.
Now, so let's talk about Cody. How's Cody doing?
Yeah, how is he doing?
My son is doing okay. I lost 8 years of my life with my son.
Sure
we
you
are
did.
a close family. I lost it. I'll never get it back.
Explain
Our
that.
house
Explain
was
what
a
happened.
battle zone.
Yeah, explain that, please.
What I mean by that is he lashed out against me. It was a total battle zone. We appeared to be a happy family on the outside, but the inside we were torn apart and sick to our stomach.
Was he angry? Was he angry all the time, fighting about something?
He would go off on a dime. He was angry. He hated me. And we tell our family we love each other. That all stopped when he was about 13 and a half years old.
And you didn't know any of this was going on until when? How did you find out?
We didn't know anything until 4 days after. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Sorry.
And then what happened was 4 days after that, on a Sunday, the state police came to our house and pulled in our yard, and they told us about it. They told us that our son was molested. And when they told us by who, my wife worked up with him for 10 years and looked him in the eye every day.
I can't even imagine.
And she asked him, why is Cody always so angry? And he shrugged his shoulders.
He knew exactly why. Oh, you poor people.
Now that this is out in the open, and now that everybody knows what happened, and now that he's been convicted, is your relationship with your son better?
My relationship with our son has grown to be awesome.
That's
awesome.
great.
And what does your son say about him now?
He was probably terrified.
Yeah, exactly. What is your son, though, saying about him and these other teachers now? How does your son... I know he's letting you handle this, and I know he's stepped back from it, and I don't blame him one bit. But what, in the end, does he support what you're doing right now?
Yes, he does, because he is sick to his stomach to know that these teachers would stand behind this monster.
John, you've been very brave to come on here and talk about this, and I really appreciate you doing that. Now, what do you want people to do tonight, and what are the particulars of this meeting?
The particulars of this meeting tonight are for Mr. Eagon to step down. It is a conflict of interest for him to vote in anything because his wife, Amy Huber Eagon, wrote a letter. We don't think he should have any involvement in what's going to happen tonight with these teachers. And we want Eagon gone and to step down. His reply was, the public voted me in, they can vote me out. Eagon would rather see it cost the school district $30,000 to do a recall.
Wow. So you want people to show up tonight, your supporters, correct?
Yes, they've made T-shirts. Everybody's going to be wearing my son's favorite color, which is blue. And it's going to say, support the Janzcewski family, and everybody's wearing their T-shirts.
You have a Facebook page as well?
Yes.
For support, what is that?
It is support the Janzcewski family.
Spell Janzcewski.
That Facebook page grew to over 2,000 people in 1 week and a half.
Janczewski. I will link it to our Johnny Blondie fan page on Facebook as well.
And I got to tell you guys, the last board meeting, out of 6 board members, including the superintendent, the president of the board, Jack Money, and all the other people, we the people asked the question, would you let these teachers teach your children or your grandchildren?
Absolutely not.
All right. And
every board member said absolutely not.
Yep.
Yeah, there are a lot. Go ahead.
Yep. Mike Eagon got the microphone, and he came right out in public in that board meeting, said, I would have no problem with it whatsoever.
All right, so tonight...
Let's have it happen to his child and see how he feels.
What time and where is the board meeting, John?
It is at 7 o'clock tonight at the Ogama Heights High School in the auditorium.
All right. Good luck tonight. Let us know tomorrow, if you will.
Please call us tomorrow.
Pardon me?
Let us know what happened tomorrow, okay?
Okay, we'll definitely give you a call in tomorrow and let you know what happens. And the other thing, could you believe that in court they blamed us, the family?
No, I can believe it.
How did they blame you?
Who blamed you? The court system?
No, who blamed us was the teachers.
Oh, yeah, I
and
can believe
Toni
it.
Erickson's, she blamed us for ruining her niece's life because we put Neil away. How sick is that?
Yeah.
How sick?
They're thick as thieves. They stick together, don't they?
Yeah.
Yep, they sure do. They're just really sick
Mm-hmm.
people.
What was he? By the way, what was he sentenced to? What was his sentence?
His sentence was 15 to 30 years.
Awesome.
And your son will have to live with it mentally for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Including his sister and us.
Right.
John, thank you.
Hang in there, you guys. You're a very strong family. You've got a lot of
I
bad things
really
happening to you
appreciate
right
it.
now.
Even the judge was disgusted. His exact words in court was, I am appalled that these teachers wrote these letters. It is a sharp stick in the eye for every parent to trust a teacher ever again.
Right. Well, let's hope it turns out right tonight.
It sounds like you got a good judge there, too. That's the Honorable Michael J. Baumgartner, for those of you who don't know, in West Branch. Thank you very much, John, for taking the time. Call us tomorrow,
Talk to you
okay?
tomorrow.
We will call you tomorrow, and thank you for listening. It means everything to my family from our hearts. Thank you.
All right, John and Lori Janzcewski and their son
Lori,
Cody.
who never hung up the phone, so
Yeah,
we
we
couldn't
never
talk.
got to Lori.
Lori, you got to hang up the phone.
All right, we're going to get Dennis's weather here
Yeah.
during the news next.
Hi, folks. Mike.